Welcome to this new lesson of the course, Self-Publishing with GenBookAI, Write and Publish Your Book with AI. We have covered plot development, character building, setting and self-editing, but now it's time to address a crucial aspect, the most common mistakes in writing and how to avoid them. Even the most experienced authors make mistakes. The difference lies in their ability to recognize and correct them. A study by New York University has shown that books with a coherent narrative, a fluid style, and a solid structure are 40% more likely to obtain positive reviews than those with obvious writing errors. In this lesson, you will learn: what are the most common mistakes in story construction and writing, how to avoid them to make your book more fluent and professional, tools and techniques to improve the quality of the text, how to self-edit to correct these errors before publishing. By the end of the lesson, you will be able to write a more fluid, compelling and professional story, avoiding the traps that many authors fall into. The most common mistakes in writing. Writing a book is a complex and tricky process. Let's look at the most common mistakes and how to avoid them. 1. Weak or inconsistent. Plot. One of the most serious mistakes an author can make is a plot that lacks structure or has logical holes. Is the conflict clear and well defined? Do the events of the story follow one another in a logical way? Is the climax well constructed and satisfying? Example of a mistake: a character receives an important revelation halfway through the book but does not react. Then suddenly, at the end, he acts as if he has been obsessed with that revelation the whole time. This creates inconsistency and confusion for the reader. How to fix. Reread your story and check if each action has a logical consequence. Use the because therefore technique. Each event must logically lead to the next. A well-structured plot keeps the reader engaged and satisfied. 2. Flat or inconsistent characters. Characters are the heart of the story. If they are not credible, the reader will lose interest. Does the protagonist have a clear goal? Do the characters change and grow throughout the story? Are their actions consistent with their personality? Example of error: a shy and insecure protagonist at the beginning of the book suddenly becomes a charismatic leader without a clear evolution. How to solve. Build a sheet for each character with background, motivations, and distinctive traits. Show the change gradually through actions and dialogue. A well-developed character makes the story more engaging and realistic. 3. Show versus tell. Show, don't tell. One of the most common mistakes among writers is describing emotions instead of showing them through actions and dialogue. Example of a mistake: she was sad. This sentence tells the reader what the character is feeling, but it doesn't make them feel. How to improve. Use actions and sensory descriptions to convey emotions. Rewritten example: she curled up on the couch, shoulders hunched, staring at the floor without really seeing anything. Showing instead of telling makes the reading more immersive and engaging. 4. Unnatural dialogues. Dialogues should sound realistic, without being forced or useless. Does each dialogue have a purpose? Do the characters speak in a way that is consistent with their personality? Does the dialogue avoid unnecessary explanations? Example of error: as you know, Marco, we have been friends for 10 years and we work in the same company. This is a forced and unrealistic dialogue. How to improve. Avoid having characters say things they already know, info dumping. Make dialogue sound natural with pauses, hesitations, and realistic pacing. Well-written dialogues make characters seem real. 5. Pacing errors, narrative pace. A book with a pace that is too slow is boring, while one that is too fast can be superficial. Are the action scenes dynamic and engaging? Are the descriptions balanced and do not slow down the narration? Example of a mistake. A thriller that spends 5 pages describing a landscape while the protagonist is chased by a murderer. How to improve. Alternate action scenes with slower moments to create variety in the pace. Use shorter sentences in high-tension scenes to increase their pace. Good pacing keeps the reader hooked on the story. 6 errors in temporal consistency and point of view. Changing tenses or point of view for no reason can confuse the reader. Example of error. A novel begins in the past, then switches to the present for no reason, then goes back to the past. How to improve. Choose a verb tense and keep it consistent. If you change point of view, do it in a clear and structured way. Consistency helps the reader follow the story without confusion. Practical exercise. Reread a chapter of your book and look for these errors. Is the plot clear and coherent? Are the characters realistic and coherent? Is the narrative pace balanced? Does the dialogue sound natural? Applying these corrections will immediately improve the quality of your writing. Lesson summary. Today we learned the most common mistakes that writers make, how to avoid weak plots, flat characters, and unnatural dialogues, the importance of narrative rhythm and temporal coherence, practical techniques to improve the quality of your writing. Thanks for following this lesson. See you next time.